Nerderotic.com.
Welcome back to Nerderotic. My name is Gary Beekler, and I come to you from Nerderotic.com, and we need to talk about Doctor Who. I know it's been a while, but since we're not getting any in 2019, there hasn't been a lot of news until now. It looks like there might be a possibility that we might get a special on Christmas. Well, not exactly on Christmas, during the festive season. Now, there was an article that was just put out saying that there's the possibility of Doctor Who coming back on Christmas Day. I'm going to tell you why still this isn't going to happen. And just as a reminder, just in case you were trapped under a TARDIS for the last couple of years, Doctor Who did scrap its Christmas special last year for the first time in 13 years because they ran out of ideas. Believe it or not, that came straight from the BBC. Doctor Who writers ran out of ideas. I have done multiple videos on this, and you will see this in the card above. Now, I also did a video on the real reason they didn't do a Christmas special in 2018 and will not do one in the future. Political correctness. It's too of a specific religious holiday to sell this show within the UK and around the world. That was not stated by the BBC. That is my opinion, but I did have an anonymous inside source corroborate that. So take that for what it's worth, but they could have come up with a lot of excuses, shooting delays, but actually admitting your writers ran out of ideas and then keeping them employed on the show makes me believe that they weren't willing to tell us the real reason, which was political correctness. It certainly invaded the show and has invaded the BBC. Of course, I want to start out by thanking my friend Joe. It's Just Plain Joe on Twitter, who's been such a valuable resource to this channel. Thank you, Joe. According to the Metro's Tilly Pierce, Doctor Who planning a Christmas special for this year ahead of 2020 series return. Really? Because that goes against everything they were saying before. Could the gang be coming back sooner than they thought? Doctor Who is reportedly planning a Christmas special for this year after previously confirming that the show would not return until 2020. Jodie Whittaker's Time Lord and her three companions were last seen saving the world and destroying a franchise once again on New Year's Day this year, and ended with confirmation that it would be an entire year before they came back. Actually, a little more than a year, because it's supposed to be spring of 2020. However, the Daily Star are now reporting they might have backtracked on that thought and will bring something out across the festive season this year. So I hit that Daily Star link, and this is what it came up with. It returned me back to the Metro saying, sorry, oopsie. It looks like somebody at the BBC might have spoken too soon, or the Daily Star was just making stuff up, or an inside source from the BBC told the Daily Star to see if they could run it up the flagpole to see who salutes, and nobody cared because nobody cares about this show. Interest for the show has fallen off a cliff. Nobody's talking about it. There's no news. Now, I could see them taking an episode that they've already shot for season 12 and using it as a festival special. They don't have to call it a Christmas special. I suspect if they put a special out, it would be before Christmas, not after Christmas, and you can have it snowing outside and call it a Christmas special. That's pretty much what the last couple of Christmas specials had been, or at least two of the last three from Moffat have been anyway. So it wouldn't really matter. That's why they never had to leave Christmas. They were going to give the last Christmas special Moffat took to Chris Chibnall, but he turned it down. So they talked Moffat into writing another one with Capaldi, Twice Upon a Time, which completely disrespected the first Doctor and William Hartnell. But Moffat mentioned in an interview that if you gave up a Christmas slot, it would be hard to get back. And considering that the ratings weren't outstanding for any of the shows during Christmas, that is a possibility. But I still don't think it's going to happen because, again, it's to a specific religious holiday. The Metro UK have contacted Doctor Who representatives for comment. The upcoming series will be the second with Jodie Whittaker's Doctor and hopefully the last. And actually, we haven't heard anybody refuting that. The 13th in the show's run. It's been confirmed that Bradley Walsh, Tolson Cole, and Mandeep Gill will also be back to join her for more boring, contrived adventures in time, space, and Sheffield. The show averaged 5.7 million an episode, with the highest being Jodie's debut, The Woman Who Fell to Earth, coming in at a staggering 10.9 million peak audience. And I highly question those numbers, but they also fail to mention that the show fell to earth after that, losing almost half of its audience by the New Year's festive special resolution. Last year's New Year's Eve special resolution confirmed the return of the Daleks, with a revamped look that somewhat divided fans. Yeah, there was some who just kind of hated it and some who really hated it. I really can't wait to step back and get to work again. It's such an incredible role. It's been an extraordinary journey so far, and I'm not quite ready to hand it over yet. Not quite ready, but it sounds like she's pretty close, Jodie said on her return. But I guess it's not that much of an incredible role that you would want to, research it, which you admitted not doing on the David Tennant podcast.
But I certainly want an expert, because you're a Whovian, aren't you?
Yeah, I grew up with
Peter
it, absolutely.
Absolutely is.
Yeah.
And so then I started to watch a bit during my audition process, and I quickly decided that was not the way for me.
Was that not helpful?
Not at all.
Now, I wouldn't be surprised if they made this change again. The lack of interest in this show has got to be concerning for the BBC, so it probably would be a good idea to put a show out during the holidays. I wouldn't like that because I wouldn't want to have to watch it and review it, although I would. They've already made some changes. The rumor is that it's returning back to Saturday where the show belongs, but I just don't see how they're going to be able to win back all these fans, at least with Jodie and Chris Chibnall. Now, a bunch might come back afterwards, but that's just bringing in your built-in fan base, which has been eroding for years now, even before Jodie. And as far as the argument that you're replacing some of that audience with the new female audience, there has never been any hard data other than we heard that there's an uptick in the female audience, but there's no real numbers. There's no numbers on how much of the audience they lost. There was the wow factor for season 11, and we saw that clearly dip as the season went on. It will not be released in November around the holidays again, which is a better time to put out your show. It will not be on Sunday night anymore. It will come out in the spring when fewer people are in front of the television set. So we are going to get a drop in ratings again. And if Chibnall and Jodie Whittaker leave at that point, then it's another 2-year wait, or they just axe the show. It's almost been axed before, and I wouldn't be surprised, and that would suck. And that would be the latest franchise to go up in flames because it was used as a political platform.
So it didn't feel like a responsibility. It felt like something to be celebrated, and I'm really glad to be able to do that. I just think what this can't be is a moment that will be irksome.
You know what I find irksome? Fundamentally changing a show that I used to sit down with my entire family and enjoy. I used to sit down with my friends left, right, and center and enjoy. Fundamentally changing a show that used to bring people together. Moving it from Saturday night to Sunday night. I find that irksome. Moving the Christmas special to New Year's Day. I find that irksome. And I find it really irksome that they're not honest with us. Telling us that the writers ran out of ideas. Even these bad writers couldn't have ran out of ideas. Fundamentally changing everything about the fandom, splitting the fandom. That's what I find irksome. All for some grand experiment. Another decades-old franchise burnt down for personal politics and agenda. You can put it back to Saturday. You can bring it back to Christmas Day. You could bring back the 30-minute serialized adventures. And guess what? As long as you have Chibnall and Jodie Whittaker there, it's just going to be more of the same. If you like what you heard, please like, share, and subscribe. If you didn't like what you heard, hey, thanks for listening this long. Go to nerdrotic.com for my live stream schedule. Everybody have a great day, and may the small folks sing songs of your greatness.
nerderotic.com. Please subscribe.